me hit turn on live captions. All right, here's the test. There it is, right there. There's the dates. There's the dates of homework, or so all you can run around in circles and hit the walls and do whatever you need to do because now you got dates. Okay? There's the test. It turned on just a few minutes ago, or 8 o'clock. Is it 8 o'clock? Turned on 3 minutes ago. I told you it would turn on Wednesday. It gives you the date, due date, gives you the due time, tells you how many minutes you have on each attempt, and it tells you how many attempts you have. There's 3 questions that y'all ask right there. How do I take your grade? Somebody tell me. Do I take the highest or do I average them together? Take the highest. I take the highest. I take the highest. Why am I saying it 3 times? Because one of y'all in here or one of you at home are going to email me after this test is over, and you're going to ask me if I average a test together, and am I going to reply? No. Now, the format of the test. Let me go ahead and explain this to you. There's 33 questions on the test. 10 to 12 of them are bonus questions. DA questions that even a non-sentient human being can get because they come from the syllabus and from what I tell you the first week of class. And the answers are where a non-sentient human being can actually get the answers right. Okay? So that's 14. Somebody multiply 14 times 3. 42. So everybody should make a 42 on this test, will they? Hell to the no. I'll have a 27, and I'll have a 26, and I'll have a 34. Yeah. Those are the guys you can, usually I say guys, those are the people you can thank for messing up the class yesterday, or Monday, or Wednesday, whatever day today is, I don't know. Okay? So, with that being said, there's, what? What's 33 minus 14? 19? There's about 20 questions on the test that are math. Everybody with me? First of all, your test is not going to be, and I don't need anybody looking at the, put the laptops down, please, because y'all not listening, and y'all are going to ask these questions right after the test. Okay? For every question, there's about 10 questions to pull from. Pool, P-O-O-L. Everybody got that? The questions reorder for each test, and they algorithmically generate. So this one says y is equal to 2x. This one will say y is equal to 4x, or y is equal to 1/2 x. So what's the chances of 2 people side by side pulling up the same test? No. There is no chance that's going to happen. So some of y'all that's already thought, oh, well, we'll just pull them up together and work it together. That ain't going to work. You're going to end up confusing each other. Okay? So you can get that out of your head. I know there's going to be people in here that cheat, okay? I'm not going to stop those DAs. You're not going to stop them in the real world either. They'll just get fired, all right? But I can limit how much, you help each other. Helping each other is not a bad thing. The best way to learn is what? To teach. So that's not a bad thing. So each question is going to pull from 10 to 15 other questions. Everybody got that? All right. So I'm not going to click on it. I'm going to click on it right here, and it's going to tell you again. Why is it telling you again? Because some of y'all, you have to tell again. Hubert's Unit 1 test. There's 33 questions. It's due on this date. You got 3 attempts, and you have 90 minutes. The reason it says start test, make sure there's not a lightning storm or a tornado or a hurricane outside before you take the test. Now, there's 3 or 4 messages that the test will send me if the power is cut out. Now, I want you to make sure you do this because some of y'all are going to lie to me. If the power cuts out and it's not your fault, in other words, the computer goes down, blah, 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 I'll get a message that says need to reset. Everybody understand that? That means you didn't screw up. If your cursor goes outside of the test, it's going to send me another message. It's going to say access needed. Access needed means you were trying to go outside the test to get help or do something. And then you're going to write me an email that says your dog ate your mouse and all this, and you're going to be lying to me on top of that. The first access I get, I'm going to just reset it and not say anything. Second one, you're going to get points deducted. In other words, you can only make a 90 or you can only make an 80, depending on how I feel. Probably an 80 or a B, because I'll knock off 10 points off the test. The third time, I'm going to disable the test, period, and you're not going to be able to take it. Is everybody with me? There's different messages. I want everybody to understand that. Because if you go outside of the test, I'll show you in just a minute. If you go outside of the test, it's not only going to lock down your test, it's going to lock down your homework also.
What about like when we're using the Excel spreadsheet?
It does that automatically. You're all right. You're all right.
Okay.
Just don't take your cursor all over your freaking computer. That's what happens. I'll show you. Now, I'm going to get out of this and I'm going to show you the test. Let me go down here. Believe you me, Mr. Smith, I've had students take all my tests. They haven't had one single problem. But I've had some students, they do that they try to get out of the test. They think I'm not going to see it for some reason, and they mess up every single test.
But it is Excel and not StatCrunch, right?
Yeah, no, I don't. Well, you can actually do it both, I think, on some of the questions. So anyway. All right, here's the test. Now, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the easy ones because I think most of y'all should be able to do those. And that's why I put this on video for the class yesterday. And only like 3 of y'all asked for acceptance. So the rest of y'all don't care about it, or you don't know about it because you don't check your teams every day because you don't want to check it. But if it was something important to you, like my 14-year-old, you'd check it every day. All right, shut up, Hubert. I've had to deal with some questions yesterday and the day before, and it really pisses me off. All right, so that's pretty self-explanatory. Please don't say the Army, please. Next. Although covered. Now, what do I mean by going outside the test? Well, if you maximize this thing, you don't have to worry about it. See, some of y'all not going to do that. You're going to try to do what you usually try to do, and it's going to lock you out. What I mean? Well, I'm not going to minimize it. Let's see if I can minimize it right there. And you're going to go out here, and you're going to click on this right here, and you're going to try to go to whatever you go to try to get the answer. And it's going to lock you out. Do it 3 times, you get a 0 on the test. And it's going to send me a message, and that message is only for you clicking out of the box. So don't send me an email that says the computer cut off, because the computer will if the computer cuts off, it'll send me a different message. I got to get that across to some of y'all because you're going to lie to me on top of it. Now, if you maximize it, you don't have to worry about it. Everybody with me? If you click on the Excel, it will stay inside the test. See? It'll stay inside the test.
Yeah, but then you click on it, like say you click on the test, and Excel is going to get sent to the back, and then to reopen Excel so you can do another question. Is that going to cut
Mr. Smith, I've been doing this a long time. I haven't had people go through all that problems. If you go through all that problem, let me know, okay? Because like I say, I've been giving these tests online for I don't know how long, okay? There's only, I'd say, out of 1,000 people, there's about 5 that will have problem after problem after problem after problem, okay? That's about the size of it. Miss Bowen, you've had my test, haven't you? Do you have any problems? Usually you don't have it. Now, did you have 120 or did you have something?
I had tricks, so I didn't really have to use Excel.
You didn't have to use Excel, but
Did you do online tests 5 years ago?
I've been doing online tests for a long time. I have never graded a test at Tri-County Tech, never. So I was doing this back when they were doing floppy disk. Okay? So communicate with Hubert, that's usually with his cell phone, but now it's Teams, but I'd still cell phone's a good answer. It's not supposed to jump the bunchies up, but it does when I preview it. So when your grade decreases, that means I put zeros in. I have to put these questions on there so y'all won't, do the DA routine at the end of, oh, I didn't know. All right, so here is a question. This is a math question. It's not calculatable, so it's hard to mess it up. And I did put a lot of easy ones on here for you because it's your first test. You're welcome. And what does it say? Third class. 1, 2, 3. 25 to 30. So which one says 25 to 30? Oh, there it is. Now there's going to be about 5 of y'all that screw that up. I don't know how you can screw that up, but you will. And if you don't believe me, ask any of my students that's had me before. There are some people that can screw these things up. All right. This says randomly, how much currently have you not identified? The data in the table represents the responses, approximate the mean and standard deviation. All right, okay, there you go. So the first thing you got to do is find the midpoint, right? So find the midpoint of 0 to 199. So you add those two together and divide by 199. Somebody tell me what you get. It's not 100, what, 98, 98.5 or something like that. So that's your midpoint. So you're going to multiply that. You're going to use your formula. Now, I can show you another way, and it might help you, but I'm not going to spend the whole class showing you. Let me pull up the handy dandy calculator. Now, the video that I put out yesterday that only 3 of y'all have asked permission to see, and the rest of y'all don't even know it exists, I go through and show you how to do all these questions because I had an hour and a half to do it. Okay?
Priority 1
yes,
message
sir.
coming in on secured channel.
I'm sorry. What?
On the question you just showed on the test, on the one that's defined midpoint, you had something like similar to that on the homework that said the midpoint was 100.
Okay, say it one more time.
The
Thank
midpoint,
you.
Yeah, the midpoint on the homework was 0 to 199, but it counted the midpoint as 100. How would that work?
Yeah, you add like 2 consecutive letter class numbers.
Yeah.
Divide by 2. That's
Yeah,
how
divide by 2. That's what you do. That's what I was telling you. Take the lower one and the upper one, and add them together and divide by 2.
Okay. So we would use 199 because on the homework.
On this one, I would use 99.5 or whatever I said. Is it 99.5 or 98.5? Somebody take 199 divided by 2.
The first one would be 100.
Huh?
The answer for the first one would be.
Okay, it'd be 100. I'm sorry. It'd be 100. And then you add the class width to each one. So if the class width is, and that's what I was fixing to show you on the calculator. I was going to show you a shortcut with the calculator. And I know some of y'all are dependent on the calculator because you can't do written work. So what you do is you go to your stat, and I'm not going to go through the whole thing because, and let's say it's 100. Okay, that first midpoint is 100, and then you put, let's say the class width is 50. Everybody with me? So that next one would be what? 150. That next one would be 200. The next one would be 250. The next one would be 300. Everybody with me? And then you go over here and you put 2, 4, 6, 8, whatever the numbers are. Okay? And now you go to stat. Now write this down. Stat. Yeah, head count. And first variable statistic. And you see where it says frequency list? That means head count. Type this in. Second, 2. That's L2, and then calculate. And there is your mean, 233, and your standard deviation is sigma, 62.36. Now I go through that in the video from yesterday. Did anybody watch it? Those 3 or 4 students, did you watch it? Okay, did you see this? Was it self-explanatory? Okay, for the 80% that didn't even see the message, you might want to check your messages on Teams, okay?
But, so the second one is the standard deviation, right? The six.
The sigma, see the sigma right there?
That's
Yes,
for population. that's
62.
for the sample.
Yeah, and that's the sample,
okay.
okay? All right, so that's that. So I just cut out how much work for you?
A lot.
Yes, I just cut out a whole lot of work for you. Now, I know that the frequency is not 2468, I know that, but I just put those numbers because I wasn't going back and forth with the test, okay? Okay, I'm trying to find my question, hold on,
All right.
thank you. All right, so the frequency instead of 2468 would be 330, 93, 58. You could actually see, okay, watch. You go to up in Excel and see it's still within the test, and you pull it up and it comes up. There you go. And you can do it the long way if you want to do it here. You do the long way if you wanted to. But I showed you just how to do it the short way. Watch the video of yesterday's class and you'll be able to rewind it and go back forward. That's what the videos are for. All right. So next question. Determine whether this is discrete. Area of a park. Is area countable or measurable? So is that discrete or is that continuous? It's continuous. Continuous because it is not countable. So where is continuous because of A, alpha? And that's just for the teacher. That's not for you, so you can't check your answers.
If we do, since we get 3 attempts on the whole test, if we were to press check answer and we got it wrong.
Check answer is not for you.
Okay,
That's just for me.
okay.
Yeah, you're not going to have that. Sorry. All right, here's another gimme. Determine whether the variable is qualitative or quantitative. Population of a country of origin. Population. Population, is that quantitative? Good. So which one says quantitative because it is numerical? C. I trust you because I'm looking at a 20-degree angle over here. So you see that so far I've given you about 7 questions that pretty easy, right? There's one question that you have to work, and that's pretty much the ratio through the whole test. I don't try to give you 15 questions with 78 parts on each question, because then you could use that as a what? If I gave you all these questions with all these different parts, you could use that as a what? Excuse. Y'all starting to catch on? What is the class width? Lower class limit and upper class limit. Which one says upper class limit and lower class limit? I believe alpha, right? Yep. Well, that's not the one. It says, should say upper class limit and lower class limit. 2 consecutive. I'm sorry. 2 consecutive. I'm sorry. 2 consecutive. I'm sorry. I can't see it. There we go. Write down 2 consecutive lower class limits. You could do 2 consecutive upper class limits. You could do 2 consecutive. Remember I told you consecutive or coinciding. Remember me telling you that? Consecutive or coinciding, however you want to call it. This one, you actually find the midpoint of each one. So somebody, what's 61 plus 64? 125, half of 125 is 62.5. Somebody check me. So that would be the class midpoint.
So when we
That's
did,
not gonna be right.
when we did it on the homework, we had to add 61 and 65 and then divide by 2 and do it, and then when we get to the end.
I've never heard of that before.
Will you check and see what you just did was right?
I will, because that's the way I've been doing it for I don't know how long. 61 plus 64 is what? 125. Half of 125 is 62.5. And then we're gonna add, what's the class width? 4. So that'd be 66.5. Add 4, what do you get? 70.5? No, that's not right. Hold on. 64.5. I put 66, sorry. 64.5. I can't see, I'm telling y'all.
What?
Is that right?
So it would be 66. The class width.
Okay, 66.5. Okay, plus 4? 70.4? 70.5? And then what's, okay, this question is not right. I got to take this question out. This question is the question that is screwed up everybody in my classroom, okay? This question, I have never seen this question before in my life because I didn't see it until I saw the 70. That's why some of y'all are confused. Throw this question out, okay? Throw it out because it's the only question I've ever seen in your homework. I'll take it out when we get through with the test, or I'll give everybody 3 points at the end of the test, okay? Everybody with me?
Yeah.
Okay, just don't even try this question. Okay, this is not the question that I'm talking about. The question that I'm talking about is the one that you can do it and not have any problems, okay? This question shouldn't even be in the homework. It should not even be on this test. So I'm going to take it out. Now I got to figure out which one it is. I'll do it after the class, okay? So disregard this question, period. I'm sorry about that. I didn't know it was on the test. So yes, I don't want to do that one. All right, so let's get back to the regular questions. Find the number of classes. How many classes does this one have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And a lot of people saying, well, Hubert, why is it on the test? Well, sometimes the computer algorithmically generates a question, and I don't know what's on there. So I've got to find that question and delete it from your test. But hopefully nobody has taken the test. If somebody has taken the test, then that screws that up. So I got to do it right after class today. If nobody has taken it, I know somebody's probably taking it because I'm not going to say anything. The lower class limit for the first class is what? 10. See, I don't pull punches on the test. It's straightforward. That last question is not straightforward. The upper class limit for the first class is 13.9. And the class width is 10 from 14 is 4. That's the type question. If I asked you the mean and the standard deviation, it would be one like that. Because you don't have a 70 in the middle of it. Do you know why I don't give y'all that question? Because you'd never run into a statistical question like that. Never. Because a researcher would be stupid to set up a frequency distribution like that. Okay? So, I'm sorry. There's sometimes these questions kind of piss me off, and that's one question that pissed me off because I would never ask you to do that in the real world. All right, the below table, what is the class width? So somebody subtract those first two for me. I'm not going to do it because it takes too long to get the calculator pulled up. Somebody take 8185 is what, 0.06? I'm guessing. What is it?
That's right.
Okay. Next, determine the number of classes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Giving you a lot of easy questions here, but there we go. All right, this is the question I would give you. Now find your midpoints. Type your midpoints in the calculator. Go ahead and do that. I want you to do this on the calculator. Find your midpoints. 25 plus 34 is what? 59. Half of 59 is 29.5. Somebody check my math. And then add, what's your class width? 10. So 29.5, 39.5, 49.5, and 59.5. You with me? Put those on the left side. Then put your 21.1, 39.7, 33.7, 21.1 in the second list. And then do the stat, calculate first variable linear regression, and somebody tell me the mean, round to 2 decimal places. I'm gonna do it because, you know, I can't see. I can see fine, it's just at this angle, it's hard to see. So stat, edit. First one is 29.5. Second one is 39.5, 49.5, and 59.5. Everybody with me? Delete. I'll have to hit the delete button. There. And delete. And 21.1 and 33.7. Yeah. That's all right. 39.7 and 21.1. Everybody got the numbers I got? And now hit stat, calculate. It will automatically default to L1. I'm sorry, to L1. You might have to put in L2, so you hit second, 2. What's above the 2 in blue? Look on your calculator. What's above the 2 in blue? L2. That means your second column. And hit calculate. 44.24, write that down, please. And the sigma is 9.8 what? 9.90, really. 9.90. So 9.90. And it's probably going to ask you to round, I don't know, 2 decimals. That's what I did. And what was the first one? 44.24. And that should be the correct answers. That's the type question I'm going to give you. I'm not going to give you one that's quirky. So I apologize for that question. Okay, type in overall grade. 0. When you don't turn in an assignment, you get a 0. I know that's harsh. If you have several forms of a test in Hubert's class, how is it counted? He takes the highest grade and drops the lowest. That's for each unit test. I give you 3 tries. Only take the highest grade. So if you make a 98 and you decide not to take the next 2, that'll be a 98, a 0, and a 0. What's the highest grade of a 98, a 0, and a 0? I will get somebody in here in each class. They will email me and ask me if they need to take the 2 remaining attempts if they have a 98. Do they get a reply? No. And if they call me, I say, I have no earthly idea. Why? Because if you're that challenged to know that the highest grade of a 98, a 0, and a 0 is a 98, I'm sorry. You shouldn't have a license and you shouldn't procreate. Next, that's 100. Why is 30, 30, 30 not the answer? Doesn't equal what? Doesn't equal 100. And actually, that's 80 and 20. But I have to put that 10 in there because some of my classes have a quiz, so the 10% is a quiz. My calculus classes have quizzes. If you have an incomplete assignment and I put in a 0 for your grade, what will that 0 do to your grade? It will decrease it. Now you notice there's 3 or 4 questions pertaining to zeros. That's intentional because I will get somebody in each of my classes after grade turn in with helicopter mom and bulldozer dad telling me, and then I show helicopter mom and bulldozer dad, I show them they've had 4 questions, and if you count the 0 questions, that's 4 times 4, 16 questions about zeros. And they'll go, oh, not, I'm sorry, not, they'll just go, oh. Yeah, your son and daughter is a liar. You need to address that. Next. Why does Hubert not entertain extra points at the end of the semester? Because I give you these bonus questions, which means 42 points on each test, or up to 40 points. And then I drop you 2 lowest grades on each unit test. So if you write me an email, which you will, somebody in here will, I've got an 89.3 and I really need an A for this test, will you get an email back from me? No. Plus, I also give you a week at the end of the class to catch up on anything or to redo anything that you want to do. But you'll send me an email that says I'm confused. That's what y'all do. Y'all send me an email. I'm confused. I took this test and now it's opened up again. What do you do if I give you an extra 10 points on the test? You raise your hand and say, Hubert, you gave me an extra 10 points on the test. She just shook her head. You don't do that, do you? You take it and what? You run with it. So if you see that all your tests are opened up at the end of the semester, what do? You run with it. If you got a 62 on a test, you go back and redo it. I'm confused. Well, my test is open. Patrick Starr,
I
what?
wanted to ask, because I can't remember, while the homework is closed until the end of the semester that you miss, can you still use it?
I open that, yeah, you can go to your grade book and hit review.
So it'll still let you practice it?
You can go back in and look at it. You can't change the answer. But you can go back through your grade book, each assignment, you can hit review. There's a review link and you can actually see each problem. All right, what does this one say? Find the class of the third, 15 to 2249. I believe that's Charlie. Some of y'all are going, oh my God, these questions are not that hard. What am I going to use as an excuse next? All right, now this one is one you have to work. I'm not going to do it for you, but you have to put them in order first, and then you have to make the classes. Now I'm going to start you off with the classes, okay? What does it say? Construct a frequency distribution with a lower class limit of 30,000 and a class width of what? So what's the next one going to be? 36,000. Next one? 42,000. Well, how do you do it? Well, that's the easy part. 42,000. And the next one is 40 what? 8,000? 48. Sometimes you have to help me because I'm doing, guys can't do 2 things at one time. So I'm having to do 2 things up here. All right. So what is the lowest number I could put in before 36,000?
35,000.
There you go. 35,999. And class width is what? 6,000? So you can either do that here or you can add 6,000 to that. And that would be 41,999. Everybody with me? Now, after you do that, you put these in order and what does that say? Allow, I guess. I'll put them in order for you because I don't know if you know how to put them in order. There they are. Enable editing. You highlight the whole column. Go to data. And you hit the A to Z. There you go. What was the first one? 30,000 to what? 35. Okay. So the first one would be 30,000 to 35. Right about there, or 35.99, 35.99. Right there. So there's 14. So your frequency for the first group would be 14. You got it? Okay. Now that's one you actually have to work. And you could actually, do you have to use Excel or can you just go put these on a piece of paper and put them in order? Okay, I don't care how you do it, but you actually have to work it. Now this one says, construct a relative frequency. Well, you just copy these classes down and you take 14 and divide by 25. So 14 divided by 25 is what? Somebody tell me.
1 point,
No, 14 divided by 25.
oh,
Point something.
0.56.
Point two what?
0.56.
0.56. And that would be, and then you do the same thing on each one of these. I would carry it to 2 digits because that's a percent. So, and these numbers go right here. 30,000, 35.99, that's it. I go through that in that hour and a half. I go through it so you can watch that video. I did one like this for those 4 people that's going to watch it. Yes. Where does homework terminate? Toward the end of the unit. Okay, there's your box plot. I showed y'all how to do a box plot at least 2 or 3 times, but we're going to go ahead and do it. I'm going to do the 5-number summary for you. Open in Excel. And I'm going to put them in order. Now, now a lot of you saying, well, Hubert, they're in order. Well, I don't know that. I'm going to make sure. And plus, I'm showing you how to put them in order. Data. And hit the A through Z. Now, if you, why is it doing that? They in order now? I don't know why it says question viewer right there. All right, they're in order. So there's 15. So number 8 is your median. So I'm gonna color that one white, yellow. There's your min. Okay, you should not get the 3. You should at least get 3 out of 5-number summary. You should at least get that. And there's your max. And then how many numbers are above 61? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that one is your second quartile. And this one is your third quartile. And I'm running out of colors, so I'll use that aqua color. There's your 5-number summary, which should be 1 down. I'm sorry, 1 down. I messed that up. Sorry, 1 down should be that one. There we go. 3 above, 3 below. There's 3 right there. There's 3 right there. 3 right there. 3 right there. Okay? So there's your 5-number summary. What? Now, 5-number summary, what goes, you got to need your mid-range. Somebody calculate 69 plus 43 divided by 2, please. There's your 43.
56.
56. Hold on, 56 is right there. And I usually go 3 over, and that is 69. There's your number line. Now you got to graduate your number line. So 43 to 56 is what, 13? Half of 13 is 7, so that's going to be 50. I'm not worried about the decimals, people. Okay, we're not building rocket launchers here. We're just doing the number line. 43, half of 43 is, 7, 3.5 is 6. So that's going to be 46. That's going to be 53. And that's going to be 50. Let's see what I say. 13, 7. That's going to be what? 63. I'm doing this in my head. Leave me alone. 59 and 66. Everybody with me? I just graduated my number line, and I showed y'all to do that at least 2 or 3 times, so don't act like you never seen it before. And then you plot your points. 52, where is 52? 52 is about right here, so I'm gonna color that green. And 61 is about right here, so that's gonna be yellow. Of course, you would be a whole lot more. I'm just doing it to show you what to do. And then 67 is about right here, and that's blue. So it looks a little bit center. Where is the center? Here's the center right here. So it looks a little bit skewed left because a lot of your data is what? Here's the center. Where's a lot of your data? On the right. So it's a little bit skewed left. So let's go back, and y'all remember the numbers, please. 43, 52, 61, 67, and 69. Y'all got those?
So you don't,
What?
I said, so you don't count the midpoint as a number when you're finding the midpoint or the,
The mid-range is only for the number line. The mid-range is only for the number line. And in fact, that's really its only use. All right, what's the numbers?
Or 43,
43,
52,
52, 61,
67,
67, and what?
69.
69. And which one? This one looks like it's a little bit right, so Charlie would probably be the answer. And which one says skewed left? I'm not going to. Skewed left, that should be your answer. So see, that one didn't take long at all. Unless you don't watch the videos and you don't know what I'm doing. Okay. All right, this is your frequency distribution. So I want you to get your curve out that only 1 or 2 of you printed out, and put 520 in the middle and 120. You're gonna add 110, 110, 110. You're gonna subtract 110, 110, 110. Go ahead and do that. Just want to see how many of y'all printed them out. None. So you're gonna have to draw it. Let's see if I can turn on the whiteboard while y'all were. Where's the whiteboard? And transparency. And pull my question back up. And let's see if I can do this. So you're going to take your handy dandy curve, which none of you printed out. And what goes in the middle? And somebody give me the 3 on the right. You're going to speak up.
630,
630,
740,
740,
850.
850. The one on the left is what I really need. I can't subtract.
410.
410,
300,
300.
190.
Thank you. Now take my handy dandy highlighter, but I can find it on this thing because I'm not used to this new whiteboard. Give me a second. And what is normal? Between 2 what? 2 standard deviations. That's the correct terminology. And what's unusual? there. And then outliers. Now you can just read the question, see what it says. So, what number? Oh yeah, you forgot the we forgot the 34. That's why you need to print the thing out. 34, 34, 13.5, 13.5, 2 point, is it 15? 2.15 and then 0.35, I think. Now you can do it. So somebody tell me what is, what?
I think it's 40.
2, 3.
No, it's 2.35.
2.35, okay.
Or 0.15.
Thank you. 2.35 and 0.15. Thank you. There. Now we got the minuscule percentages right. What's between 410 and 630? Wow, that's good. I mean, that's how easy this is. But you have to print it out or draw it. Now, which one would be easier?
Print it.
And y'all still not gonna print it out. Because you're what? Lazy. And let's type it in right here. I really got mad at the Tuesday, Thursday class because they've had like an extra day to print it out. And I looked at them yesterday. I said, how many printed out? 3. 3 out of like 20. I'm like, y'all suck. Anyway, where's my cursor? I don't see my cursor. I'm not used to it. Just give me a second. There we go. All right, so 68. All right, somebody tell me less than 140 and greater than 630. Well, that's going to be 2.5 and 2.5, which is what? 410. Let's see, where's 410? Less, oh, okay, I'm sorry. Usually they do these two sections. Okay, so that's going to be 16 here, right? 16.5, let's see, 2.5, yeah, 16 and 16. Now, it says or. Does it say and?
No.
Be careful here because they'll try to trick you. Or means 16%, either or. This is 16% or this is 16%. What if it said and? Be 32%. Everybody with me? So I think this is going to be 16. If it's not 16, then the question needs to be changed. But I will see in just a second. All right. What percentage is less than 740? Oh, sorry. Greater than 740? 2.5. Yeah, that question is wrong. So put 32%, make a note, that question's wrong. That is incorrect. That's supposed to be and. But anyway, make sure you make a note of there. Even though the question says or, it needs to be and. So that's 32. So there's one right there. That's all you got to do is just have a printout of the empirical rule. Or take 5 minutes to draw it out. Of course, y'all don't need that time, right? All right, this one's a Z-score. Blah, blah, blah. Male picture, ERA of 307. So that's X. Susan's ERA, Susan's X is 2.52. Okay, females for the males is 4.666, really? And 0.938 is your standard deviation. So it's going to be the male, write this down, 3.07 minus 4.666 divided by 0.938. That's your Z-score for the male. For the female, where is hers? 2.52 minus 3.934 divided by 0.861. Now, you got to ask your question. Is ERA supposed to be high or low? Because I'm not a baseball fan. Okay, so you want the lowest one. You don't want the highest one. But it's negative. You with me? So what's better to have in the bank account? Negative $500 or negative $1,000? So 500 is higher. Everybody with me? So you need to be careful here. So which one has the lower? Well, technically lower would be further. Which one's closer to the outlier? Did anybody calculate it? What is Dan's ERA Z-score? 2 decimal places. Anybody calculate it?
I think it's 1.70.
Is it negative? Should be negative. 3.07. Okay, no, it's not. It's positive. What is it?
You got a negative ERA.
Yeah, he sucks. What is it? 1 point what? 1.70. Okay, what is hers? 1 point what?
0.00.
Okay. So who's closer to the outlier? Dan. But if Dan identified himself as a female, he could play on the female softball team and beat up on those poor girls. Which one is it? Somebody tell me, A, B, C, or D. What?
Susan had the better year.
Yeah, because she's got a lower. So you got to put it in context because hers is lower because ERA is supposed to be lower. So which one says Susan? B. And that should be right. No. It might be higher. I always thought it was closest to the Z-scores.
Yeah, I don't think I did that. I can switch them around instead of them.
Okay, class, give me the right numbers, please. Can't depend on y'all for anything. Y'all suck. Somebody check the numbers, please. I'm gonna sit here and wait because I'm not gonna try to do it.
Put negative in front.
What?
You can't have a negative ERA.
It's a negative Z-score. It doesn't matter what the ERA is.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. So negative what?
Negative, that same number. It's just
Negative 1.70?
Yeah.
And what? Negative 1.0?
Yeah. I just switched around the means.
You don't do that. Means got to go first. I mean, second.
Yeah.
So negative. And that would be Dan. Dan has a lower Z-score, I think. Okay, then Dan has a higher Z-score. Okay, we suck, period.
The other one was right. Your score was down.
Okay,
It's C.
it's C. Good, write it down. I'm not a, see?
No, but C is right. One of your numbers is wrong.
Well, I'm not depending on y'all. Okay, just forget it. We're going to the next question because y'all can't add numbers. All right, next. All right, what happens if y'all get out of school for a while? Or what happens? What do you do? You send me emails, the last one saying hello. That's what you do. And I can't erase this because I can't get. Hold on a second. Why isn't this thing expanding?
Those are dad's.
There we go. Okay, I know class ends at 9 o'clock, but you can, it ends at 8:55? Dang, gone. All right, well, you see the test. You see what it looks like. I'm gonna go through the rest of them, and I'm not gonna take a roll today. So for those people that want to stay, you can stay. For the rest of the people that want to, I'm gonna do it for the recording. I'm gonna keep on going, okay? All right, the rest of y'all can go. All right, so somebody tell me what this one is. Communicate quietly, please. Next. All right, this one says, find the class width. What is the class width here? What's the class width? 250. Next. If you want to challenge a question on the test, what do? Ask Hubert to see me meet with you after class. Address, that's pretty simple. Somebody will get it wrong. There's find the mean. Okay, let's see if we can do this in our heads. Okay, now watch this question, because what does the question say? What kind of mean? Does that mean a Greek letter or a regular letter? Greek letter, chapter 1, so mu. So 1 plus 4 is 5, 16, 32, 40, divided by 5 is what, 8? If you hit X, and that says population, it's going to mark it wrong. Next. This one says find the class limits of the second class, 5.9 to 6.7. And the next one, no way, no how. And the next one, find the sample variance and standard deviation. You can do that in your calculator. That's it. So you're talking about maybe what, 5 questions on the whole test that you have to calculate something. I think that's pretty fair.
That's doable.
Now you got 2 videos you can watch. Now, if you can't watch 2 videos 5 or 6 times and make an A on this test, I'm sorry. I can't help you. I mean, I'm serious. I doubt I can. All right, submit test. I think we answered half the questions. We haphazardly answered the questions and we made an 88.
So that's just like the homework, it'll.
That reminds me, I need to take that question off.
Right?
All right, wait a minute. People at home, y'all good? I'm gonna turn it off if y'all good. Y'all good? Give me a thumbs up. All right, good. I'm gonna shut her down. And hit leave.